So let's start with the third part of the lesson, Can We Change This by Bama. It was the same story at school though. They always spoke ill about people of our caste. If ever anything bad happened, they would say immediately and without hesitation, it must be one of the cherry children who did it. About 3/4 of the children in the school were Palar and Pariah. All the same time, the school was on another street. Everyone seemed to think Harijan children were contemptible, but they didn't hesitate to use us for cheap labor. So we carried water to the teacher's house, we watered the plants, we did all the chores that were needed in the school. Then I was in class 7. Every day after school, I would play with other children of our street before going home. There were 2 or 3 children who were related to me and other boys and girls who always played together as a group. One day we were playing on the big neem tree in front of the school, hanging like bats upside down from its branches. After a while we started on another game, running right up to the coconut palm and touching its tip. The coconut palm grew slantwise at a convenient angle. If you came running along from a distance at top speed, you could reach right to its tip and touch the coconut growing there. Spurred on by the excitement of the first few who managed to touch the coconut, those who came later grabbed it and gave it a twist before climbing down. By the time I got there, the coconut fell at my touch, dropping with a thud. It wasn't even fully ripened coconut, just a green one without so much as water in it. All the children were frightened and ready to scatter. Everyone said that it was I who had plucked it. Then we just left there and ran home. So it was the same story at school. Just like this discrimination was happening in their places, like their homes and in their life, actually the same situation was there in the school as well. They always spoke ill, or they means the people of the upper caste always spoke ill about the people of our caste. Our caste here means people of the lower caste, the pariahs. If ever anything bad happened, कुछ भी बुरा होता था, they immediately say and without hesitation, बिना कुछ सोचे समझे, they usually say that कि ये cherry children, the people who live on the cherry street, उन्होंने किया है, जो बच्चे cherry street पे रहते हैं, they have done it. About 3/4 of the children in the school were Palar and Pariah. All the same, the school was on Nadar Street. Nadar Street is the name of the caste. Nadar is the name of the caste. और वो लोग सीधा बताते थे कि 3/4 of the children were of Palar and Pariah, and जो school था वो Nadar Street पे था. Everyone seemed to think Harijan children were contemptible. So here means Harijan children, a group of lower caste. Harijan जो होता है lower caste group का ही नाम है, जैसे Palar and Pariah. Same way, and they think कि वो किसी भी चीज़ के लिए deserving नहीं है, उनको कोई भी respect नहीं मिलनी चाहिए. So contemptible means कि respect ना मिलना, मतलब वो इस लायक नहीं है. But they didn't hesitate to use us. और वो कभी भी कोई भी जो मतलब स्पेशली द टीचर्स और एनी पर्सन रिलेटेड टू द अपर कास्ट, दे नेवर हेसिटेट टू यूज़ देम एज चीप लेबर्स. उनको जो है चीप लेबर्स के बेसिस पे यूज़ किया जाता था. वेदर दे हैव टू कैरी वाटर टू द टीचर्स हाउस और वाटर द प्लांट्स और डिड ऑल द वर्क इन द स्कूल. देन व्हेन शी वाज इन क्लास 7, एवरी डे आफ्टर स्कूल all the children used to play, other children of our street before going home. So they used to go to play before going home. So there were 2 or 3 children who were related to me and other boys and girls who always played together as a group. So 2 and 3 children who were related to me means that they were of the same caste. So they used to hang like bats upside down from the branches of the big neem tree. Then after a while they started another game, which was running towards a coconut tree. So what they usually do, they run towards a coconut tree, and whenever someone goes to the tip, he just twists the coconut and comes down. So उससे क्या होता था, कोकोनट जब ट्विस्ट करते थे so basically वो गिरता नहीं था, but when the narrator's turn came and when she tried to touch the coconut, it dropped with a thud. When by the time she got there, the coconut fell at my touch. So by her touch only, the coconut dropped with a thud, and it wasn't fully ripened. So it was a green one, a green coconut without so much as water in it. So it was not her mistake actually. All the children were frightened because of this reason. सब बच्चे जो हैं वो डर गए थे and they ready to scatter. सब यहाँ वहाँ भागने लगे छुपने के लिए. Everyone said that it was I who had plucked it. She only touched it, but she was blamed that she plucked the coconut. Then we just left it there and ran home. और उन्होंने coconut को वहीं छोड़ा and वो घर चले गए. The next morning at assembly, the headmaster called out my name. You have shown us your true nature as a pariah, he said. You climbed the coconut tree yesterday after everybody else had gone home and you stole a coconut. We cannot allow you inside the school. Stand outside. I was in agony because I had been shamed and insulted in front of all the children. So next morning, assembly maid headmaster called out her name and scolded her because she has climbed the coconut tree, and because of her the coconut fell and she has stolen it. She was blamed that she has plucked the coconut and stolen it. We cannot allow you inside the school. Because of this reason, he told her that they cannot allow her to be in the school. So stand outside. I was in agony. She was very angry because she was shamed and insulted in front of all the children. This was the behavior which happened with her in the school. All the children eyed me in a strange way. सबने उसको बहुत मतलब जिसे कहते हैं ना strange तरीके से देखा and walked off to their classes. I was in such shock and pain, I didn't know what to do. Then a teacher who lived on our street came by and advised me to go to the priest and tell him everything and bring a letter from him to the headmaster. I went to the priest and told him the whole story in detail and begged him to give me permission to go back to school. The priest's first response was to say, after all, you are from the cherry. You might have done it. You must have done it. The tears started welling up in my eyes and I wept. After a long time, the priest wrote a note asking that I should be allowed to return to school. When I took it to the headmaster, he abused me roundly, using every bad word that came to his mouth, and then told me to go to my classroom. When I entered the classroom, the entire class turned around to look at me, and I wanted to shrink into myself as I went and sat on my bench, still weeping. So, all the children eyed on me. At that time, she was feeling insulted, and when she was there in pain and shock, a teacher came and advised her to talk to the priest and tell him everything so that he can give her a letter and which she can give to the headmaster. She went directly to the priest and told him the whole story from her part as well as what headmaster said to her. In details means whatever she has done. But still, instead of trusting her story, what priest said, after all, you are from the cherry. You might have done it. So basically, she was judged on the basis of her caste, the place where she lived. So mistake कैसी भी है, just because जिसने भी किया है, just because she is from the cherry street, she is a pariah, so she must have done it according to the priest. Okay, so you might have done it, you must have done it. Tears started welling up. That was something which hurted her badly, so that's why she was crying and I wept. After a long time, the priest wrote a note asking that I should be allowed to return to school. Though priest has written a note for her, but still he insulted her for the same thing which she has not done. When I took it to the headmaster, he abused me roundly. He abused her in a forceful and clear manner with every word which came to his mouth and told me to go to my classroom. After giving the letter and apologizing about whatever the mistake was done, still headmaster scolded her and abused her. So when she entered the classroom, the entire class turned around to look at her, and I wanted to shrink. She wanted to shrink into herself as I went and sat on my bench, still weeping. She was crying so badly and she just wanted to sit alone because because of the same insult, she was not able to face the whole classroom. This was the behavior done with the pariahs, or we can say lower caste children in the school. So not only the discrimination was there in the society, but it was also practiced in the school as well, where they were supposed to teach everyone about equality, but the headmaster and the priest, the most knowledgeable person, they were also discriminating people and children on the basis of their caste. They were discriminating on the basis of from where these children belong. उनको knowledge से उन बच्चों को एजुकेशन वो जो दे रहे हैं उस चीज़ से कोई फ़र्क नहीं पड़ रहा था. They just wanted to discriminate them on the basis of their caste, their religion, and from where they basically belong. So these three parts of the story in this lesson are all around on the three main things which our narrator said in the beginning only, that she felt and experienced, and she has been humiliated by what it is with the discrimination. Okay, so she has felt it, she has seen it. In the first part of the story, we can say that she has seen it, the way discrimination was done. She has felt it where her grandmothers the people were behaving with her grandmothers, and she has experienced and been humiliated in the third part. So in all the three parts, she has properly explained about the behavior of the people towards the lower caste and how she was humiliated with the same.